But Joe, since you're on my screen, I'm going to start with you on regulatory challenges that therapeutic cancer vaccines face. And I know we're not going to be able to get to all of them in our remaining like 60 or so seconds. I hope you guys are cool if we hang out just for a couple more minutes after the top of the hour. But let's just start with what stands out to you most as the biggest regulatory challenges that the space faces right now.
Yeah. So again, let me start by saying Vero Therapeutics do have the benefit of an approved FDA drug where we do have some regulatory precedents of how to get this modality approved. That's TBEC, marketed by Amgen. I will not pronounce the full name because I will butcher it. But with respect to regulatory challenges, apart from the usual things, I will throw out one point that is unique to the virotherapy space, given the short time that we have, and that is related to species specificity that we need to think about, depending again on the virus that you're choosing, as well as the potential transgenes you are trying to express from your virotherapeutic to further amplify the immune system or otherwise therapeutic effect. Those may not translate well to the tox species that we commonly use. So there is thoughts you need to put into place whether you actually can compile your entire preclinical safety tox package with the clinical candidate, or whether you actually have to, in parallel, develop a surrogate where either the transgene then engages the immune system accordingly in your tox species or not. I'll leave the rest of my time to the others to discuss maybe more the optimist or front-running kind of considerations, but I just wanted to put that out there as a unique component for virotherapy versus the others.
Thanks, Joe. So Peter?
Yeah, I can step in there. So yeah, what we see on the regulatory side here is, first of all, FDA with the Oncology Center of Excellence here with different projects opening up for development of these type of products like vaccines at an earlier clinical stage, so that we don't have to, as we started off this meeting, we don't have to wait anymore for late stage clinical, and it should make it easier for co-development of vaccines in combination with other drugs that are compatible with vaccines, such as checkpoint inhibitor therapy. And you mentioned Project Optimus there, Johanna, that it's not a regulatory person, but I understand it's a project to encourage developers to seek the optimal dose as opposed to maximum tolerable dose, so that you leave a therapeutic window ceiling a little bit higher, therefore, to allow for combination therapies. I think that can only be good. We haven't yet started to benefit from that at HDT, but I think it can only be a good thing for us to start developing vaccines to where they really suit the best, which is in combination with other immunotherapies and other therapies as well, where you pile on therapies to reach safe outcomes and rapid curative outcomes for the patient.
You mentioned Optimus, Peter. Is that an FDA initiative?
It's an FDA initiative by their Oncology Center of Excellence, and it encourages developers to seek dose finding, which is not necessarily based on a traditional approach, but to remain compatibility with in more of a personalized seek the optimal dose.
Yeah.
To maintain safety and good efficacy, and that can also open up for combination therapies.
What is just real quick? What is Project Frontrunner? How does that sort of relate to Optimus?
Project Frontrunner is, from my understanding, a project that aims to make it easier or highlight the need for developing these type of products at the clinical stage where it's the most best used and best plugged in. We know that vaccines, and presumably the same for virotherapy, but vaccines certainly works absolutely the best when the immune system is fully intact and when the tumors are small. And that means as soon as after diagnosis as possible. So traditionally you had to wait for first line, and then chemo and so on. And now you can maybe use plug in the vaccine either the front runner aims to start developing that sooner, and but that could also mean directly after surgery to prevent recurrence. So we recently were selected by the National Cancer Institute as a partner for their PREVENT program, which is to prevent cancers. But it's not just preventative and that they never pop up, but also prevent recurrences, for example, after surgery, when there's really no or very low tumor burden. And that is one of those times in the clinical stage where the vaccines really have the ability to shine.
Yeah. Okay. Robert, any additional commentary on regulatory? And again, I realize that at this point in the program, I'm abusing your time, but I want to make sure you have an opportunity to weigh in there.
No, this has been a really fun forum. I'm enjoying sticking around a little bit longer, so it's not a problem at all.
Thank you. I feel relieved.
Yeah, I would say that the biggest thing is goes back to one of Johanna's comments, is that we don't really have an approved product in this space yet. Fully approved. We've had the emergency use authorizations, but that's not a full commercial approval for an mRNA at all, let alone in the oncology space. So the thing that is the biggest challenge right now is really that there's not a path to follow. We're working out the path now. We're working with not just the FDA, but also the Canadian Health Authority, the British Health Authority, the MHRA. We're working with the Chinese health authorities. We're working with the Australian health authorities, to help drive that path forward. Both for a single product and also for a platform. Because one of the ideas of having a platform here is in the early stages in phase 1. If you have a platform where you're basically just switching out an mRNA, have you already gone through safety and proved that your platform is safe? So there are questions around, what the regulatory pathway is going to look like, and what, an actual platform is going to look like if you can actually shorten, your phase 1 because you've already proven that your LNP platform has a good safety profile. So that's really where the challenge is that, we see them at the moment.